Hey everybody, welcome to our Monday night book club, book study. So excited to spend a little bit of time with you guys as we're going through this book, The Gap and the Gain. It is so good. And just really excited to dive into chapter 2 tonight called Being Self-Determined, Defining Your Own Success Criteria. So I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter as much as I did. So the premise, what is it? The big picture here is that you are choosing and setting your own goals. You are in control of your own life decisions. You're advocating for yourself and you're actively participating and working towards these goals. And I was like, oh, this is a good chapter for me because I totally can relate with this. So basically, he talks about how you're setting your own standards and benchmarks versus allowing other people or society to dictate what success means for you. So he talks about it really needs to be internally driven, an internal reference point that will help you stay in the gain versus the gap, where you would be trying to measure up to somebody else's standard or whatever success means to them. You're comparing yourself to that. So this should help eliminate comparison when you have your own internal standards set. And then really it should excite you, energize you because you're personally connected to your own goals and desires and where you want to go. So the first thing we have to do is really define success for ourselves. So that's my first question tonight. We're going to jump right in and I would love to hear from you guys. What does success look like to you?
Success to me looks like being able to provide the lifestyle that I want for my family without having a boss. Be able to do it on my own terms with my own creativity when I want, with who I want. So just and also having meaningful work to do that produces fruit and impacts people while making a great income.
I love that. And you're definitely living that life right now. You earned it.
I think success looks like for me, and it's evolved over the years, definitely dollar bills so that I can take all the vacations. And then also, what I'm really finding is meaningful for me is having impact on people and in their lives that it's not questionable. Like that, I helped with that. So seeing like evidence of where I've touched or helped or mentored or developed or encouraged or whatever. So that feels successful.
That's really good, Christina. I love that.
I feel like mine is more simple than what y'all just said, but for me, success is me sticking with what I promised myself.
Yes. Love that. Showing up and doing what you said you're going to do. That's good. I'll share my answer and then would love to hear a few more. So my first thought was, what does success mean to me? Results. That's what success means. And then I got thinking and I'm like, okay, but if I'm not getting results right now in a certain area, I would start to second guess my abilities, which I have along the way. I even would start to question my value, my worth. And so what I've really been learning lately is that my worth and our value is not connected to my work, to my points, to my rank, or even my paycheck. It really does come back to who I am in Christ, my identity in Him. And so my success isn't found in my work, but in the work He did for me on the cross. So His love and freedom has gifted me with this platform and foundation where I can build my days and my work around. And that's a very different mindset for me because I am secure in Him and His love for me. Then I am free to go to where he's calling me to go, to love on others, right? To serve my customers well, to show up for my audience, to add value to them, right? To teach and guide my new workers, to lead and mentor my business builders, to use my gifts and talents to bring him glory. So to really grow and develop into all that he has for me. I love that verse where it says, we're more than conquerors through Christ. We are more than conquerors through him. So how do I define success for myself? It's surrendering my efforts and my business and all the areas that I want to control to him. It's partnering with him on a daily basis and ultimately showing up just to give my best each day. And I know that's what I tell my kids, and I just need to believe it for myself too, right? Did you give your best effort? Did you show up? So, did I manage my time well? These are all like really good reflection questions for me to think about at the end of the day. Did I have a positive attitude and manage my mind? Did I take the right actions and do my IPA that I committed to? Did I lean into the discomfort and fail forward? Did I love and serve and take the time to connect with others well? Really, that's what success is to me. I'm sorry, guys, someone's printing from the printer, so hopefully that's not too loud.
I love that, Abby, everything about that. And for me, it is so much about stewardship of what God has given me. And I will not be a success if my business is crazy successful, but my marriage is falling apart and my kids are not following the Lord. So for me, I measure success in all the areas of my life to be living by my priorities and my values and doing the best in every single area of my life and measuring my progress against myself every single day and growing and learning and trusting God with the results. And do I want results? Heck yeah, I want results, but not at the expense of, like, I want my whole life to be fruitful. Like, if I am faithful to what God has called me to do and doing my best and learning and growing and getting uncomfortable and, keeping first things first, keeping the Lord first, keeping my husband first, after him, my family and my business. And if I'm living by my priorities, that is a success. And there's been seasons in my business where I've had to give my family more time, or I've had to give, or I've had given my business full time, but I'm not going to be a success if I'm sacrificing one. This is me. Again, me, the way I determine success is the full picture, because when I stand before God, I want to hear, well done, good and faithful servant, over every area, not just one or two.
I definitely relate, Michelle. Love that.
Well, I think I have like everything wrote down. I wrote it in my book, so I have all those things wrote down, but just also, I think one of my biggest things that I have been defining my success by lately is just like how I respond to things. And y'all may have said this, I don't know, but just whatever my circumstance is, like if it's not where I want to be or whatever, like if it's not what most people would define success as, but how I'm responding to that. How long am I sitting in my feelings about it? How quickly am I able to, feel it a little bit and then change my thoughts to how I can move forward in the meantime.
That's good, Terry. So responding versus reacting.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to share what success means to them?
Okay, I will. Sorry, I had to get out of my car. So I think I would have said for the longest time, success would be a certain amount of points. And if y'all have been around very long, you know what those amount of points are. But then I realized, well, and this book talks about it a lot too. That first of all, that's the gap. But so it's still like I'm still working on my definition of success, but currently it's just not quitting. And I've never quit this business. It's never even been an option, but I have silently quit. Like I've quit without knowing I quit. Does that make sense? Like I quit doing certain things because they were scary, or quit doing certain things because I was like, well, I tried that, it didn't work, on to the next thing. So, and usually it was the things that would move me forward and actually get those points that I really wanted. So right now, currently, success is not quitting at all, not even like silently.
Proud of you for that, Rachel.
I think I can relate a lot with what you're saying, Abby, and then Michelle, how you want it to be well-rounded and success in all your areas of life. Because if you have one that's high success, but not the other, then what's the point of that? But I think when I first heard this, or when I read that, my definition automatically goes to success is if I'm hitting my goals. So if I'm not hitting goals, then in my mind, then you're not successful, which can obviously point you in a very bad direction if you're not hitting those. Or if things happen for a reason or vice versa. But I think then I was then reworking through that and then coming to what Carissa was sharing too about just not quitting on yourself, because like, or not quitting, but keeping the promises that you keep. So like success has to be keeping what you say you're going to do in all areas. You know, I think I would say I'm going to do one thing with my kids and with my husband or whatever, but then I would say something, but then not do it for my business. Like I would quit on that first or vice versa. So I think like that's for sure right now.
Yeah, I'm loving all these definitions. So if you don't have one for yourself, make sure after this call, you sit down and figure out what does success look like to you, because that's going to impact a whole lot in your business journey here. So let's go on to the next one. So he talks about being self-determined means you've decided what success means to you, and you don't need anyone else's permission for what you want for yourself. I thought that was so good. You don't need to apologize for what you want. So in the chat, I want everybody to put one thing that you really want in your life. What is one thing you really want and that the Plexus opportunity is going to be able to help provide for you? Debt-free, a house. Feel you with the house and the debt-free. Love it. Time freedom, financial freedom, vacations, trips, a house, debt-free. Oh, look at all these reoccurring goals, or repeating, I should say. Options, shopping spree, match my husband's income, emerald, endless bank account, vacations. I love it. Yes. These are really good. Paying off our house. Yeah, so know exactly what you want here, because again, you need to have a why that's going to drive you forward also as you're going through this journey. And you need to know why you guys want this. Why is it important to you? How will life change for you once you have it? Or this one kind of stings. If life doesn't change at all for you, how will you feel if you can't have it? If you can't have that house, if you can't match your husband's income, if you can't earn that shopping spree, if you can't go on that vacation you desperately want to go on. So I would love to have one or two of you share about your why, or this answer you just put in the chat, and why do you want this? Why is it important to you?
Okay. So
Okay.
I want to be Emerald because of the monthly income that comes with that, which is going to help from the financial standpoint. But to answer your second question, or your question, if it doesn't happen, like I posted in here, success right now is the growth that I've had. And so if it doesn't happen, everything else is going to be okay because everything else has changed. So I know it's going to happen. I'm just not as urgent, or as, really it's not even urgent. It's not as life and death that it's got to happen at this time, because I know it's going to happen.
Yeah. It's amazing to look back and see all the growth that we have experienced. And you actually are kind of leading into one of my next questions. It's not this next one, but the next one, Amy. But yeah, so proud of you. And I know we can all say that we have experienced so much growth being here in this team on this journey. So definitely taking the time to celebrate those wins because they are so huge. Anybody else have a burning why that you want to share with us? Why you want it? Why is it important to you? How will life change for you?
I'll go. I honestly think that my why is, and if things were to never change, I mean, I think the stress or the anxiety of our current situation would probably give my husband a heart attack. Like his health is, I honestly think it's deteriorating and going down because of things that are going on. And I think that if I don't strive to produce that why, like nothing's gonna change. It's just gonna get worse. Um, yeah.
So what positive can come out of it then? You're consistently showing up and taking the right actions. What will change?
What will change is, I mean, I feel so much like the happiness, the light, the stress will not be there. We will be able to remove and be able to leave our situation and be free from, in my mind, like demons. Like, I mean, you'll have the finances to go with it, the just opportunities, you know, I think just like all of that. Yeah.
Well, and you've talked about specifics, right? Like traveling more and vacations for your boys and having a homestead. So all those.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah. And I think those are like, those are great and those are perks, but I think like they're not the, like that happens now, but like I think there like there's more. Does that make sense? Like there's more than, I don't want to say that those are my like materialistic things, but like I feel like this opportunity is going to provide, like when I hit those goals and hit that the end, well, there's never really an end because you want to be striving for more, but like when you hit that like end result, it's it's I don't know how to say it, but like you'll be able to pick up this circumstance and like remove your family from it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making sense. In my mind, there's a lot, but I feel like it's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Everybody's why and raising is going to be so unique to them. And it's
yeah,
being, convicted in what we want and what we want to change and then being willing to go after that. So, well, thank you for sharing, ladies. So let's go to page 37 if you guys have your book. He talks about social media. I thought this was really interesting and how it can stop people from being self-determined. It can lead to comparison. I'm sure none of you are familiar with that. And you can start to become influenced by that external reference point again versus the internal success measurements that you had already set for yourself. So once again, you'll find yourself in the gap where you can feel frustrated or feel like you're not measuring up, or maybe you're feeling insecure or even disappointed versus being in the gain where you feel satisfied, optimistic, hopeful, confident, successful. So my next question to you guys is, how can you stay in the gain and keep the focus on your own internal success criteria that you set when you're doing your Plexus work on social media? What do you guys think?
Can you repeat your question?
Yep. So when you're doing your Plexus work on social media, how can you stay in the gain and keep your focus on your own, whatever success means to you, versus looking at everybody else, going into comparison mode?
I think that's a great question, Abby. And for me, full disclosure, I've gotten out of the habit, but I have my vision and my why written down, and I also have it on a voice recording, a voice memo on my phone. And I was listening to it every day before I would start work, and that helped me so much. And full disclosure, I just got out of the habit, but I need to pick it up again because when I focused on what God had for me and my vision, my why, my path, it helps so, so, so much, even before I open social media or anything. Like I need the constant reminders, and I put visuals up everywhere to keep me on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, so smart, Michelle.
I think for me, it helps to just think about who I'm talking to and think about why I'm even doing what I'm doing. Why am I posting anything or sharing anything? It's not about me. And it doesn't matter really what other people think, because if they're judging, then they're not the right person anyway. So I need to keep in mind of like who I'm talking to and who I'm there to serve.
Yes, I had that one down too, Emily.
Well, I think also everything that Emily just said, but I think, and I'm just saying this as I'm thinking this, but like for me, what has been the challenge in the past is definitely comparison when it comes to social media, because I mean, I am not Michelle. I'm not April, or I'm not like any of the other um Jules or whoever out there. And so I had to figure out what I had to offer and who specifically I was looking for to attract on social media. And so that just looked like knowing myself, like knowing, I guess, my strengths and just what I was good at. And does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Which I think goes right along with Emily too.
Yeah, that self-awareness is so important, because if you know who you are, and like you said, your strengths, your gifts, you can focus on serving people from that spot. Versus like if you don't really know yourself well or what your gifts or talents are, well, I need to be like this person. I need to be like this person.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so good, Terry.
I have to eat my words a lot in these last 2 years, because everything that I feel like the comparison and the jealousy and all those things where I'm like doing this. I mean, I would really be upset if Reese came to me and said these things about her. I would be like, no, you are, how wonderful you are and all those things. And it's like, why do I, and I tell other people that, you wouldn't tell your child, you wouldn't allow your child to speak that way. Why are you speaking that way? And then I have to tell myself, wait a minute, I am worthy. I do, like, I think somebody said, what, like Christina or April said, what do I bring to this table? I have a seat at this table, and I bring Amy, I bring me. And, and so I really have to not let myself spiral, because it's easy, it's quickly, but what I'm doing now is I'm calling it out and I'm saying it. I go tell somebody, this is what's just happened. This is where I'm spiraling. So I get it out and can, don't let the enemy get in my head. And so, but yeah, I mean, it's like, I have to like eat my words a lot, because, and like I said, I know I'm repeating this, but I tell my daughter, you can't think this way. You are amazing. You're this. And then I'm sitting here going, I'm, poor me, like, I'm not worthy, but why am I different than my own child? So.
Yep. Yeah, we can often be our own worst critic. And so we got to be really aware, yeah, what we're saying to ourselves and about ourselves. Because if we're not careful, that can become the truth we believe. So, like, speaking of truth, so I have so many whiteboards, you guys probably know, but the little one back there, I just redid that one. And so I have my affirmations on there, and on the left are all my affirmations in Christ. So I'm loved, I'm secure, all the things I might struggle with, I put the truth there. And then on the right are my business affirmations. And it's really easy, you guys, to, what is this saying? It's like, it's easy to not do the thing than whatever it is. But it really does make an impact when you guys do the small things that you could easily just pass by each day. So I try to really get into the routine of, before I sit down, I go over to my board and I start reading those out loud. And that really does help my mind get into a really healthy place to go and serve people and give it my all and, show up as my best. So if you guys aren't already having affirmations about your identity in Christ or in you as a person, or You as a business owner, I highly recommend you guys get some written down, or you can even, I think Michelle said she records it on her phone and plays it out loud. So something where you're letting that soak over yourself each day. That's really key. Anybody else have any more thoughts about social media?
I just have a quick one. I totally relate to most everything that everybody's saying. And one thing that I've done, and it's just for me, is I've unfollowed a lot of the people who I first started following in the beginning when I started the business. Because you can just get really confused, and you can forget about who you are. And you know, some of the ladies mentioned gifts. It takes your focus off of who you are and what your gifts are. And also I heard about a little study once where they say that if you open up a food magazine and you look at all the pictures and the recipes, you can actually walk away not hungry because you're already full. And so if you're looking at everybody, you do, because I think maybe you mentioned it, Abby, you do lose a sense of what you're supposed to be doing. So I have a lot that I need to be doing, a lot that I need to be focusing on. But my thought here is, and a lot lately, I just want to focus on who am I? What do I have to offer? I'm still trying to figure out what is my niche, or, you know, who am I trying to reach? So if I'm looking at everybody else, Brenda Martin, Brooke Hemingway, I'm going to lose that sense of who I am or who I'm trying to become.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we do have to be careful of that. We find we're drawn to somebody and there's jealousy, or there's just like, oh, I need to be more like them, but I'm not actually like them. Then yeah, sometimes we do have to put up those boundaries so that we can really focus back on ourselves and what are our, you know, our biggest contribution that we can bring to our audience. So yes, I have definitely done that before too. And I think one reminder here quick is like, you know, the highlight reels we see out there in social media, those are actually so much far less than all the actual reality reels, right? If we were to put all of our reality out there, our faults, the hard things we're going through, that would probably be a lot more than just the amazing highlight reels we see out there as humans, right? So not to just try not to get caught up in those. All right, well, let's talk about progress versus results. So let's be honest, we are all here to get results in our business, right? But sometimes we can beat ourselves up because because the results aren't happening as quickly as we want them to. Anybody else been there before? Stumbling over my words. I have definitely been there before. So, but that can really keep us stuck in our mind at our rank with our lack of results. So I find when I focus on the progress I have made, which is the gain, it helps me to more quickly obtain my goals when I look back to see how far I have come. It provides us with a much more positive place to regroup and then figure out how can I move forward from here. Versus, oh my gosh, I have so far to go, I'm stuck, why, you know. So we have to learn to love and appreciate the process and the progress, because progress can happen in the process. So I want to show you guys an image here, and hopefully this will share. All right, can you guys see that? Black and white. Thumbs up. Okay. You probably can't see the whole thing. Do I need to scroll so you guys can see the whole thing? Yeah.
You have to scroll. Can you zoom out at all?
Oh.
See where it says 100%?
Oh. There we go. Awesome. You guys can see that whole thing now?
Almost all of it.
Okay. Well, I don't really want to go to 50. I feel like it's going to be tiny. Okay. So I loved this visual so much because look at this down here. You are happy before you even start to hit your goals. Some of you are not happy. You're saying, when I hit my goals, I will be happy. You are happy right now with where your life is. So I loved that. You are happy, and then here you're looking to the gain you want to make, the progress that you're going towards. And so you're right here. The progress that you make, you're figuring out, where am I right now? And how far have I come already from the start? We're measuring that, and that is our progress. And then here to where you want to go. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, you guys do need to see the ideal. Okay, the ideal is like our why, right? Where we're ultimately wanting to be, the debt-free, the house, the car, bringing your husband home, whatever that is. And so to go from the start to the ideal is our motivation. What is our motivation? Our why, right? So we have our why in place. We are measuring our progress as we go along the way and we make steps forward. We are in the gain because we're not looking backwards to, we're not looking up here to see how far we need to go. We're looking back here to the start to see how far we've come. And that's what will bring us in the gain. If we're constantly focused on, oh my gosh, this is how far I have to go, then we find ourselves in the gap. So I thought this visual was fantastic. Okay. Now I gotta get back to the 100% because I can't read my writing. Okay, so let's talk about progress here, guys. I want you to think back to when you started your Plexus journey here. For some of you, it's very long ago. For some of you, maybe it was a month ago, 3 months, 6 months, a year. But I want you guys to think about how much progress you have made, because it is a lot. And I want you guys to type out in the chat one area you have made progress in that you are proud of yourself for. So think back to when you started and where you are now. That is progress, and would love to celebrate you guys. Posting on social media, personal development, communication skills. Yes, Michelle, I feel that. Confidence in my purpose. Oh, these are so good. You guys are going so fast. Feeling love for others, not being devastated when I don't hit a goal. Mindset growth, mindset joins, social media skill set, learning to connect. I feel that one too. Talking to people I don't know, becoming a better listener. Yeah, these are amazing, you guys. Look at all of this growth, asking better questions. Yeah, these are fantastic. So it's really important that you guys are doing regular check-ins with your progress. And if you're not doing this at the beginning of a new month, you really should be taking time to reflect and think back. Okay, let's think on August. What went well? What progress did I make? What can I celebrate myself for? And then we're not staying there, right? We're going to think about, what do I need to do better? What can I tweak? But it is so important, you guys, to recognize our progress along the way, because our progress is part of the process. All right, I got one more last question for you guys tonight, and that is on page 49. He says, the simplest and most efficient way to ensure you get the results you want is to create a list of success criteria for your goals. I am successful when. Would love to hear from a few of you guys. I am successful when. What would you say to fill in that blank? Did anybody take time to fill out the 10 like he recommended? He said, write down 10 statements for your own internal success criteria of I am successful when. And they're going to be very unique to you. I know we talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but does anybody have any that stick out to you?
Yeah, this was easier for me than, there was another one that was very similar. Right, so first one, I'm successful when I go to bed satisfied, like as opposed to everything I didn't do, right? I'm taking care of my health. I've spent time with God and in His Word. I'm present in conversations, like I'm actually mentally there. My thoughts are calm and complete. I and those around me smile and laugh often. I'm genuinely happy for others' success. I'm giving my first fruits to God. I'm applying what I'm learning. I'm teaching others. Number 11 could have been I can read my own writing.
Keep on going. I love those, Jen. That is a great list. I can tell you took time to put thought into that. That's really good. Anybody else have one or 10?
This was on Jen's list, that I feel success when others on my team are successful.
That's good, Laurel. Yeah. Leadership.
So a challenge to me is balancing time and also money, because I like to shop. But I put on here when I have free time and extra money to help others more, because to me that just means I'm balancing. No matter if I'm making, $5,000 a month or $20,000 a month, like I know even if my check is not where it needs to be, like I still will feel successful if I'm balancing my time and my money wisely. Because even with a check that's not my dream check, I still can, if I'm doing that smart, then I can still give my time freely. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And money, even if it's $50, whatever.
That's good, Terry. And you want to figure that out ahead of time. Whatever rank you're at, figure that out so that as
Yeah.
your time does grow and your income does grow, you already know how to manage that well.
Right. And it's not based on like, okay, well, how much time do I have to, like a specific amount of time or a specific check, just being able to learn how to balance that no matter where I'm at in my journey.
Yep. That's wisdom. I love it.
Okay, so one that's a big one for me is I am successful when I have managed my time well.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could actually break that into other I am successful in, that could be several, but that's the overarching statement.
Yep. I'm sure a lot of us can relate. Can you hear me?
I will be successful. Go ahead, Hillary.
Sorry, my microphone wasn't working earlier. I feel like my statement is I will be successful when all of my bills are paid on the first of the month and I can go like 2 weeks or more without actually checking my bank account.
Yeah. That's good. I know that your debt-free journey is really important to you. Love that. Jessa, were you going to say something?
For me, I'm going to be successful in my business when I can comfortably know that I am able to help others be successful consistently, like not a fluke, not one person. Part of this business is being able to help other people and show other people that there's a way out and there's a light and that God has more for us. And I'll know I'm successful when I'm able to consistently keep helping other people find that.
Yeah. Building leaders who help leaders and really building like that solid foundation. Love that. All right, I lied. I have one more question and then we're going to wrap it up because this one was really good. I liked it. So he talked about filtering, having one question, filtering response to every single decision that you make in your business. Or for that one, it was the rowing team. I loved that story. But this is pertaining to your business. So this one question can allow you to measure every situation, decision, and obstacle and to not get derailed where most people do. So the rowing team example was great. And their question they asked themselves was, will it make the boat go faster? And if it didn't, then they did not spend their time and energy there. And I thought that was great. So what do you guys think as we're wrapping this up? What do you think is one question you could ask yourself in your business that will help you stay focused on and on the right track with the most important things?
I loved that question. What I wrote down for business is, does this create momentum? Because if it doesn't, it's got to go. And personal, I wrote down, will this improve my relationships? And I actually used it today. And it helped me put my phone down when it wasn't appropriate to have my phone. So that
Yeah.
was helpful.
Those are really great.
So a second ago, I was gonna say I'll be successful when I become Brittany. And now that she's answered these other two things, and I'm like, yeah, ditto. Yeah, when I do these things, and so yeah. So I'll go back to yes, I'll be successful when I become Brittany.
Too funny. I had a few. Will this action produce me a paycheck? Am I paying myself first by doing this activity? Will this action move me towards diamond? Fill in the rank. Will this book or podcast challenge me and take my leadership to the next level? And will this action help, or this next step help my new runner go fast, start gold? That was my list. Maybe one will help you guys. Anybody else have any other thoughts? Say the last one again. Will this next step help my new runner go fast, start gold? Could be silver. Could be get their first join. So I don't know if that exactly followed the rules of what we're supposed to do, but I think all of these help give us a focus. It eliminates other distractions. We're able to say no to other things that we don't need to and say yes to the right things. So yeah, I encourage you guys to come up with one of these phrases, because when you're feeling overwhelmed or there's so many things that you could be doing, just bringing up that question to yourself again to help bring you back to focus. And, you know, what is the next thing I can do here? Do I need to say no? Do I need to say yes to this? So I loved that part. All right, 8:45 or 9:45 by you guys down there. So thanks for joining me tonight. And we'll see you guys not next week, right? No book club next week. But then we resume the following week, chapter 3. Okay. See you guys then. Have a great night. Bye.